Hey guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel. Today we're doing another week in my life vlog, as you guys do seem to enjoy them. Basically, I'm reaching the end of my semester now. I'm currently in week 10 out of 12, so I already know it's going to be a bit more of a busy week, but I'm also trying to enjoy a bit of time off before I get slammed with finals. This will probably be one of my last vlogs for the semester, but I figured I'd show you a realistic end of the semester vlog, so you can see exactly how the routine changes and parts that stay the same across the whole semester. If you like content like this, please subscribe. I'm here every single Sunday at 9 AM. Otherwise, come along. Alright, so to be honest, I am currently filming this on Tuesday. I completely crashed out yesterday. I already know that I've barely filmed anything. I don't think I mentioned before, but I just came off my mid-semester break. And of course, it didn't feel like a break because I had an exam yesterday. So I studied the whole time for that exam.
What, like it's hard?
And I didn't particularly do anything exciting yesterday. I woke up early, went to the gym just to get out extra stress like I normally do, and then I had my exam for 11 AM. Did the exam, I feel fine about it, knock on wood. I'm a genius.
I'm a fucking genius. Hey mom! I'm a fucking genius!
And then after that, it was like a switch went off in my head. I just didn't want to do anything. Put my AirPods in, played some music, headed to the shop. And I just walked around for a while, ended up buying myself some lunch as a reward, and literally procrastinated for a good 2 hours, but you know, a bit of a realistic crash out. After that, I did come home, started to feel the inevitable guilt about not doing anything for hours, and I decided to lock into my lectures. That was basically the rest of my day, was just watching some of the lectures for the week. I watched about 4, so just under 4 hours, probably 3 hours something. And to be honest, they really aggravated me because they told me it was going to be 4 lectures, and when I open it, it's actually equivalent to 5 lectures. Spent the rest of my night in bed enjoying myself, watching comfort movies, comfort TV shows, and that was it. That was my Monday. So let's go on to Tuesday. Alright, so Tuesday's pretty much done. I've only got a couple more things I need to do. Definitely been a longer and more exhausting day, and I'm feeling the effects of that. I tend to do this thing where if I crash out one day, I tend to completely, basically overdo it for the next day because I feel guilty about crashing out the day before. And it is the most unhealthy coping mechanism probably ever.
Ooh, self-burn. Those are rare.
Essentially, I woke up early, did some flashcards, it's pretty normal for me, and then I had a 9 AM class, was there until midday. This week's case study, if you're interested, was about a dog that was basically just using too much steroids and the side effects of that. Once my class was done, I realized that even though I had gone to the shops yesterday, I completely forgot to get a gift bag for a 21st present. So I ended up having to walk all the way back to the shops. You know, it's a hard life I live to buy a bag. And it's so huge, like look at it. But I got that completely sorted. I was really happy about that because it's been stressing me out all week for some reason. Then I came home and I have been locked in since then at about 1:30 to 2 PM. I had to do this whole video assignment where essentially you're role playing as the vet and you have to address a concern or a question that a client has for you. I more or less had to explain a medical condition in an easy to understand way, and you're meant to be showing, you know, empathy, all of those things. It just feels so unserious. Many dogs can live for quite a long time before they actually start experiencing symptoms. But anyway, I did that, quickly edited that all together and uploaded it. After that, yet again, was contacting placement places because trying to organize placement is genuinely the bane of my existence. Finally, the last 2 hours of today, I spent editing. I edited a video, and then that brings us to now. Other than that, let's go on to Wednesday. Okay, finished Wednesday, and to be honest, I completely crashed out again. But I think I've already mentioned that this week was meant to be more of a crash out week because I'm coming up to my finals. In terms of what I did today, woke up early, did my flashcards, all normal, walked to class, had a dissection. That's a typical Wednesday for me. It's a 3-hour class, and of course, I'm not allowed to film anything in there. But what we did was basically dissected everything in the thorax. So just looking at all of the muscles, looking at the lungs, everything like that. I will say my group was probably a little bit clocked out because this is the subject that we just had an exam on Monday. Parts of our brains have just completely turned off.
Not listening. Not listening.
And then after that, I had every intention of coming straight home and spending the afternoon editing. But what ended up happening was we went to get cannolis as a celebration for finally finishing our mid-semesters. In my head, I said, okay, this will just be a little detour, quick cannoli, and then go home. I ended up sitting there talking, just gossiping everything until 5 p.m. And then by the time I got home, it was about 5:30. I said, oh well, this day is gone. Because I felt super guilty, I ended up going for a walk on the treadmill.
Oh my God.
Felt way better after that. That's where I'm at. It's also probably a reminder to me that when I do not allow myself to take any breaks like I did yesterday, I end up crashing and burning the day afterwards. So there you go. How many advice videos do I make and how many of them am I not following?
Hypocrisy, my friend.
Anyway, let's go on to Thursday. All right, Thursday, my least favorite day by far, is done. It is always my really long uni day, but it never has any hand-on practicals, which I much prefer over having to be on the computer sitting down all day. Of course, same as always, started the morning with some flashcards, then went to class and did my respiratory system case study. If you're interested, this one was actually a little bit confusing. It was basically about a dog that had been hit by a car, came in with really poor breathing, really poor respiration, and I think it was a bit of a hard one because there ended up being multiple different things that were going on with this dog.
Report back to me when, I don't know, when it makes sense.
Pretty sure it had a ruptured bladder. It had air that was leaking between the lungs and the chest. There was genuinely like 3 other things that were wrong with this dog. And they kept showing us, you know, blood test results, but there was just so many aspects going on that it was hard to pull it all apart and determine what was causing what. So that class went for 3 hours until midday. Had some lunch in the sun, which was a novelty in Melbourne. And then I locked in for a little bit, did some quizzes that were due for this week. And by the time that was done, it was time for the next class, which was my animal production class. I never stop complaining about how much I don't like this class, so I will try not to in this video, but it was about lab animals, which personally I'm pretty confident that I'm not gonna work with lab animals.
Oh shit! All right!
However, the case study ended up being quite interesting. The professor made it really interactive, so she almost forced me to engage, which is good because it's a class that I do tend to zone out of, to be completely honest. That class finished at 5 p.m. I left immediately because 9 to 5 days are pretty rough. Came home, ready to crash out, so let's go on to Friday. All right, it's about 5:30 to 6. I'm pretty much done for the day. We started off today a bit different. I went to the gym in the morning. Then I had to head to my other campus to attend a practical, which I was really happy about because we've not had a proper practical all week other than our dissection. This class was about 2 hours. It covered a whole bunch of different cases that we had to answer questions about. Again, they're really loving blood tests this week because they kept putting up different blood tests and asking us to describe it, talk about what's going on, and try and pick what the diagnosis is. We also needed to evaluate blood smears, which that's a bit harder for me because differentiating all the different abnormalities is probably not my strongest suit. And then as well, we got to practice yet again actually making blood smears, reading PCVs, which if you don't know, it pretty much just measures the amount of red blood cells. I'm pretty sure I took a photo that I can pop up. It's always fun to, you know, actually get hands-on. But other than that, it was actually a pretty short day, especially for a Friday. A Friday can quite often be a full 9 to 5 because after that, I had some lunch with some friends and then I came straight back home. My goal for the rest of this afternoon was just editing. So for the past few hours, all I've done is edit. And then outside of this, I do happen to also have a 21st tonight, which is part of the reason why I'm filming this a bit earlier because I am going to be out for the rest of the night. Basically, it's just one of my vet school friends. I'm really excited to just go out because I have not been out for months. Which is just the nature of having mid-sem exam for the last few months. Other than that, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know if it was still as enjoyable, even with me kind of crashing out and it not being as much of a study week for me because I'm trying to let myself have a bit of a break. Please like this video, please subscribe. It does actually really help me see what content you prefer. And of course, like always, I'm here every single Sunday at 9 AM, always posting vet school content. And if you want to see more frequent content, I'm always uploading on Instagram at Becoming Dr. Talia. But that's it guys, bye.